Pills, they're good. Well, I mean, you could take antidepressants if you feel hopeless and depressed. There are other things you can try as well. Let's go through the gamut. Let's run the gamut. I'm Jonathan Decker, Mended Light. What should you do if you feel hopeless and depressed? There are lots of things you can try. It's a terrible way to feel. By nature, we want to feel happy. By nature, we want to feel hopeful. By nature, we want to feel like we have a purpose and things to look forward to and a spring in our step. And we kind of feel like that should be our default setting, or at least like that's what we're working towards. And if we're not accomplishing it, then there's something wrong with us. The first thing to recognize is that there's nothing wrong with you. I'm not saying you're not struggling with depression. I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with you as a person, right? You have value, you have worth. It is limitless, it is eternal. There's nothing wrong with you morally for feeling hopeless and depressed. There's nothing wrong with you in terms of weakness versus strength. You're not weak. Feeling hopeless, feeling depressed are natural human feelings. Everybody feels sad. Everybody feels down. Everybody feels weary. The issue with depression is that these normal feelings that people have from time to time get blown up, get magnified to the point where they drag us down. And they keep us from living our lives the way we want to, keep us from connecting the way we want to, keep us from succeeding the way that we want to, like anchors. And that is not a moral failing. And that is not a lack of strength. Nobody that I've ever heard of chooses this, but we do have to deal with it. I've heard it said that your mental health is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. So what do we do? A lot of people run for antidepressants, and I'm not antidepressants. I think they have their role, and for some people they're definitely helpful. But I'm going to level with you. I'm going to tell you my biases today. This is what I would do if someone came to me and said, I'm feeling depressed. I'm going to tell you the steps that I would take them through so you could take yourselves through them. And I would land on antidepressants at the end if the other stuff isn't working, right? That's just me. Another clinician might give you a different opinion. First of all, diet, rest, and exercise. People tell me they're depressed. I'm like, okay, are you getting enough sleep? How are you eating? Are you getting enough exercise? And they sit there and they go, my therapist thinks I'm fat. And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's got nothing to do with appearance. We need to exercise for sanity, not for vanity. Getting a good workout is one of the greatest endorphin boost releases that you can find. And for a lot of people, sometimes there's self-harm involved, right? I feel depressed because I feel guilt, because I feel shame, because I feel nothing. Because depression isn't always sadness. Sometimes it's flatness. I feel nothing, so I want to feel something. And self-harm gets involved as a way of feeling something or of relieving guilt by punishing yourself. And I tell people, you know what's punishing? Running 3 miles. You know what's punishing? Doing lunges, doing the bench press, swimming laps. That's punishing. Getting your heart going, getting the blood flowing, releasing those endorphins is a great way to feel better. It's a natural antidepressant. Finding the right amount of sleep. Some people feel depressed and hopeless because they work themselves so hard and they drive themselves so hard that they sacrifice sleep and they think that they can handle it. The studies are limitless on why we need sleep. And you can tell what a big deal it is when you actually start getting good sleep and you can see the difference. And you think, I should have been doing this all along. I should have been making this a priority. Or what if you're getting too much sleep? If you're getting too much sleep or you're spending too much time in bed, what I would urge you to do every day, even if you just do one thing, get out of bed, shower, and dress. If you literally do nothing else that day because you feel too depressed, you did something that you didn't want to do because you felt like you should, and that's empowering. And most people, by the time they've gotten out of bed, showered, and dressed, they find that they can at least do something and start getting some things done because they're already dressed for the day. And psychologically, because they've already made themselves do something that they didn't want to do, that they needed to do. If you're getting too much sleep, have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Give yourself that. As far as diet is concerned, I'm not a nutritionist, but I do know enough. The more processed foods we eat, the more sugar we consume, the more things that we put into our bodies that aren't actually food, the link between mind and body is strong. And eating a lot of junk food, eating a lot of fast food is correlated highly with depression. Eat better. You don't need to cut off junk food or fast food entirely, but use it as a reward or as an incentive once or twice a week, and then lay off it. If you need something sweet, eat fruit. If you need something salty, eat some peanuts, eat some nuts, eat some jerky. Drink a lot of water. I know somebody who literally never drinks water. They literally only drink Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew all the time, and they are sad as can be all the time. You need to take care of your body because your body and your mind are all part of the same system. The next thing I would advise you to do is find some purpose. Sometimes we feel depressed because we don't know what we're doing with ourselves. We don't know what our purpose is. We feel stuck in the same rut. And it's like in the movie Unbreakable. There's a line where Samuel L. Jackson says to Bruce Willis, that little sadness that you have when you wake up every day, I think I know what that is. Maybe you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Look for people to serve. If you can't find anybody, go to justserve.org and look for service opportunities in your community, ways to give back, ways to contribute your time, ways to help people. But honestly, the best way to start, you know people. You have family, you have friends that you haven't talked to in a long time. Some of them are struggling just like you. Reach out to them. Being there for somebody can help you to feel better. Or, the flip side, allowing them to be there for you. If you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling hopeless, maybe you're disconnected. Next thing I would advise is to feed your mind. If you're spending a lot of time with TV shows, with video games, with movies, look, you know me. I love screen time as much as anybody, but there's such a thing as too much. Feed your mind with a good book. Not a trashy beach romance novel. I mean, maybe there's time for that in your life, or there's room for that in your life, but something that actually lifts you up. Something that actually helps you to grow. Something that gives you new skills or new perspective, right? I would start with a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor in the most depressing, hopeless circumstances you can imagine. He was in a concentration camp, separated from his family, loved ones killed in front of him, his home destroyed, his possessions taken from him. He didn't know if he was going to survive, and what his quality of life would be for the rest of his life looked dire. And he talks about in that book that the Nazis could take away everything. They could take away our homes, they could take away our families, they could take our lives, but what they couldn't take was our ability to choose our response to our circumstances. He says that in the concentration camps, the people who were focused on survivalism and focused on themselves often didn't make it. The people who did make it, not all the time, but if you were to make it, it's because you were focused on community. It's because you were focused on being positive. It's because you were focused on, I'm going to make it. It's because you were focused on sharing and lifting and helping and using your talents and strengths and being scrappy and being creative and looking for solutions. Start with that book, because when it comes to depressing, hopeless circumstances, there's no better guide to surviving that and thriving in it than Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And then move on. Move on to Tuesdays with Morrie is another one that I would recommend for a book that helps you find purpose in your life when things are dire, when things are sad. Read good books. Feed your mind. Listen to podcasts that uplift you. Follow YouTube channels that edify and feed your soul, like this one. We are all you need. Everybody else sucks. In your face, TED Talks. It's not true. I would love to be on a TED Talk. Please, that would be amazing. Now, if you are getting enough rest, if you are having a healthy diet, if you're getting enough exercise, if you're fostering connection, if you're serving and lifting one another, if you're feeding your mind, if you're trying to have a purpose, if you're looking for a purpose in your life and following that, if you're using your talents, then the next thing I would say is that it's not fake it till you make it, but it's similar. The behavior precedes the emotion means that oftentimes I have to do something before I feel it. I'm doing a lot better at exercise in my life right now. I rarely feel like going to the gym. I make myself go even though I don't want to, and then once I'm there, I start to feel it. Sometimes I don't feel like interacting with my kids, but I make myself play with them and listen to them and connect with them, and then I start to enjoy it. What I tell people in your shoes is you cannot wait until you feel better to do things. You have to do things so that you feel better. Let me say that again. You cannot wait until you feel better to do things. You have to do things so that you can feel better. And then, if that's not working, if that's not doing it, that's when I would say we turn to antidepressants. Again, you may get a different opinion from a different clinician, but that's the order of operations that I see. How do you deal with depression? How do you deal with hopelessness? Let me know in the comments below what you think of my thoughts, what techniques and strategies that you have used. And if you have any questions for this Ask a Therapist segment, leave them down below in the comments and I'll try and hit them up in a future video. If you're enjoying this series, I want to direct you to another Ask a Therapist video, how to get traumatic images out of your head. And like, subscribe, click the bell, share this video with your friends, and most importantly, if you are struggling with depression, you don't have to go through it alone. There is professional help. Members of my team, therapists on my team, are qualified and able to help you. Their links are in the description below to schedule a 15-minute complimentary consultation to see if you're a good fit for each other. But if you don't get help with us, get help somewhere. I'm Jonathan Decker with Mended Light, and I'll see you next time. Here comes the video I was telling you about. Yeah, it's so awesome.